2013 Harley Davidson Ultra Classic. First time I ever took on a challenge of this size. First time I ever bought anything from Copart. First time I had ever filmed and posted anything to YouTube. Now, I filmed this stuff 4 years ago, and it was super interesting to rewatch all this footage. I forgot how much freaking work this was to rebuild this bike. But I think for a guy of my experience level, 0, a guy that has really no idea what he's doing, I think it turned out really well. So stick around to the end and drop a comment below and let me know how you think it turned out, or skip right to the end just to see, or just drop a comment and let me know where you're from. I love seeing comments from all across the world. Oh, also, if you'd like to support the channel, obviously subscribe, like the video, share all this stuff, or buy a shirt or hoodie. Okay, now that's out of the way. So I bought this bike sight unseen. Again, never really done a Copart auction before, so I really wasn't sure how it worked. I ended up winning this thing. It was local, so I went out to pick the bike up, and I bought this thing sight unseen. I didn't know what the real damage was. I didn't know how many miles were on it. I didn't even know if this thing ran. So the first thing I had to do when I got the bike home was to get it fired up. For some reason, the ignition switch was smashed up, so I had to replace that. And when they bring you the bike, when you pick it up at the Copart yard, they bring it out on this gigantic forklift, what you can see here, and it's just hanging from these straps. Now, this is a 900-pound bike hanging from these straps, and when they hooked it up, they must have grabbed the spark plug wires because those were ripped clean out of the bike. So I had to replace those. So that's where we'll dive in right now. Man, when that thing screamed to life, it took my breath away. I've never owned a Harley or anything like this before in my life. It already had a hypercharger intake on it. It had the Vance and Hine pipes on it, and it just sounded freaking amazing. And of course, as long as I had it running, I had to hop on and punch it into gear to see if that thing would move on its own power, which it did. All right, now the fun begins, and it's time to tear into the front end, more specifically pulling apart that front fairing. And I'll admit, it was a little intimidating, especially trying to keep track of that gnarly wiring harness, which incidentally the previous owner had definitely been messing with. Now that that's done, it's time to get those smashed up front forks off the bike. First, we hit the front wheel and front brake calipers, which came off pretty easy. Now comes the challenging part, trying to get those gnarled up forks off the bike, which was not easy. I later learned that the lower section of the triple tree was all bent up, so it's no wonder the only way I could finally get those forks off was smashing the heck out of them with a mini sledgehammer. Now that the front end is disassembled, I turned my attention to swapping the gauges and associated wiring from the old busted up inner fairing to the new one. Pretty straightforward job, although I did find a broken switch I had to replace, and as I mentioned earlier, some of the wiring had already been spliced into to accommodate new radio speakers, so I installed the new switch and soldered up a bunch of the wiring. After that, I installed the radio, which was not as straightforward as you would think, mainly because I bought these aftermarket mounting brackets that were not super awesome. Now remember, this is 4 years ago when supply and demand was crazy, and unfortunately the only set of forks I could find in stock were about 3 hours away. So I did the only logical thing, and I waited for a really bad ice storm and I headed out. Oh man, those forks are beautiful. And now I figured installing the forks would be the easiest step of this whole dang process. You know, I watched a bunch of videos of dudes swapping out their forks and it looks so easy. Of course it'll be easy for me too, yeah? Until I realized the lower triple tree was bad, and I had to track one of those down and wait several weeks until it arrived. But in the meantime, I still had plenty to do, including replacing the rear brake master cylinder, which was also broken somehow. Now, once the lower triple got here, it's full steam ahead. Now putting these things on was very easy, and it turns out all you really need to do is have a straight triple tree and they'll slide right in. Of course, it helps if you put the covers on the forks before you put the forks on the bike. But, you know, this is me we're dealing with here, so gotta pop those back off. Then toss the covers on, then toss the forks back on, then toss the calipers on, and away we go. And oh yeah, I had to toss some new rotors on because the old ones were all bent up. And when I initially tried to put the front tire on, I discovered the front axle was also bent, so I had to get a new one of those too. Oh, just wait till the end of the video when I break down how much this project actually cost me. Pretty eye-opening. But at least the critical components of the front end are finally back together. Now that the bike is back to rolling around, it's time to get that front inner fairing tossed on the bike and try to remember how all this wiring fits back together. Once that was all sorted out, or as sorted out the best I could, I had to toss on the new front dash assembly thing and the new ignition switch that was broken. Of course, I forgot to put the ignition switch on first, so I had to take everything apart again to get that in correctly. And truth be told, I had to take that front end apart several times because, well, I'm me and I don't take my time to do things correctly, or really I have no idea what I'm doing at all, obviously. But hey, that's part of the fun for me. And hopefully for you too, so subscribe and watch more of this madness if you like. I'd sure like it. Buy a shirt too. Okay, thanks. Okay, once that was sorted out, I replaced the old cigarette lighter with a little USB charger port thing, and although I'm not a smoker, there is something fun about thinking about an old school Harley dude cruising down the road, blazing up a cig and having a built-in lighter on board. That's pretty rad. But that's not me, so a charging port it is. Finally, it's time to get the rest of this inner fairing cleaned up by adding the trim. Nothing a little 3M can't handle. Now here's where things get interesting. Since some of the chrome was a little tweaked up from when the bike was laid down, I decided to make a little straightening jig with a few anchors in the base plate on my wall and a few tie downs to pull it back into square. But that didn't really work how I wanted it to. It would pull straight and look great, but then bounce back to gnarly once I released the tension. I ultimately decided to pull off those pieces and try to reassemble them a little straighter than they started. Now it's time to get this lighting figured out on the front end. Aftermarket parts are always a fun challenge to get to fit properly and to figure out how to wire into the original harness. But it actually wasn't too bad, and once I got the wiring figured out, it was just a little bit of soldering. And then more soldering, and then more soldering, and then even more soldering, and some more soldering after that. But when it was all said and done, those running lights and turn signals looked pretty sick. See, I say words like sick because I'm a cool teenager, kind of old man. The last major step was to toss that bat wing fairing on and get this thing buttoned up. Again, not too bad. Trying to find the correct way to lay that wiring harness in there so everything bolts up nice and tight was the biggest challenge, and it honestly took a few tries, but we got it. Then I just snapped the covers on, tossed the bags back on, and we were one step closer to hitting the road. The last minor step was to get the front fender on, and yes, that means more soldering. But when it was all said and done, I think it turned out great. Please drop a comment in below and let me know how you think it turned out. And if you're curious to find out how much this entire rebuild cost, I've linked a video for you to check out at the end of this one. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace and love.